We want to take you to breaking news now out of Chicago. The man accused of killing 7 people in Highland Park back in 2022 has pleaded guilty to murder and attempted murder. This happened just moments before opening arguments of his trial. So here's how CBS News Chicago covered the story just minutes ago.
Against the man accused in the 4th of July mass shooting in Highland Park.
Yeah, a big development here. We've just learned that Robert Crimo III is changing his plea in this trial. He is now pleading guilty to all murder and attempted murder charges. Now, he just made this switch minutes before opening arguments were set to start in this trial. Crimo III pleading guilty to killing 7 people and wounding dozens more in the Highland Park parade shooting back in 2022. Now, Crimo III was given a plea deal over the summer, but he turned that down. He's facing life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Let's get right to our Sabrina Franza, who was inside the courtroom when that plea deal was switched this morning. She is now inside of the Lake County Courthouse. Sabrina, good morning to you. And what are you expecting? What are you waiting for right now?
Hey, Jackie, I am standing here right now in the lobby of the courthouse. The reason why things are a little hectic right now is because we're waiting for some of the family members of Robert Crimo III and some of the victims and their families to walk out. So things are a little bit moving here in the lobby of the Lake County Courthouse. What we do know, we were in the courtroom watching as this was unfolding. Robert Crimo III has changed his plea. It started out as a normal day. Everybody was there getting ready for opening statements to begin. And instead of that happening, we heard from his attorneys saying that he would be changing his plea. Everything started out normal. The judge actually came out and even started doing some homework at the beginning of the hearing today, saying that one of the jurors would be excused and replaced with an alternate. And as that happened, just making sure that nothing's happening behind us here. As that happened, they replaced with the alternate and recessed briefly. It was only 15 minutes into the morning. After that, they came back and said that Crimo would be changing his plea from not guilty to guilty. He is now considered guilty on all 21 counts of first-degree murder and 48 counts of attempted murder. And the judge went through the facts of the case. He had somebody from the Lake County Police go through all of the facts of the case, talking and asking Crimo, do you understand what you're doing? She asked him repeatedly, are you sure that this is the decision that you're going to be making? Were you coerced into this decision? And each time he said that no, he was not coerced. Yes, he understands. And she asked over and over again to make sure that he was positive in his decision to change his plea. I'm just going to take a step out of the way for a moment here. We're just watching as, like I said, some of the victims and their families are walking out. Now, their courtroom itself was full of people from the Highland Park community hoping for some sort of closure at the end of this trial, but possibly not expecting it to end in the way that it did this quickly. Jury selection took most of last week, and they finally had those 12 jurors and 6 alternates there selected for this trial to begin. Everything was going according to plan until today, where things have changed pace, of course. And there was even an overflow room set up for some of the folks that were here today. It was a very organized operation, hoping for people who wanted to be here, making the space so that they could be here. And many people today surprised, hopefully finding some of that closure that they were looking for by this change of decision by Robert Crimo III.
Sabrina, thank you for those updates. I'm curious, when he made that change of plea in court, did you hear like any audible response from so many of those victims who were inside the courtroom?
Jeff switched it to the podium, but do you need me?
We actually heard from his mother, who was sitting in just the row behind him. She stood up and mentioned something pretty loudly about a court order at that point, and the judge had said, you know, she said, I don't want to embarrass you. This is not allowed in a courtroom. And if you cannot maintain composure, you'll be asked to leave. At that point, she sat down and maintained her seat. But other than that, everything was very eerily calm almost. And every answer that Crimo gave to the questions that the judge was presenting him with were just yes or no, yes or no. Other than that, it was pretty calm in the courtroom.
And Sabrina, one of the things I was just thinking about is you got there this morning
Okay,
along with
you
some
were
of
just-
our other crews that got there, and you were expecting opening.
And you were just hearing from Sabrina Franza, a reporter with CBS News Chicago, with breaking news on the attacker of the Highland Park shooting. That man, Robert Crimo III, just pleaded guilty to murder and attempted murder, and that happened in Highland Park during a 4th of July parade. Again, Robert Crimo Jr. III pleading guilty.